Good morning and welcome to today's Daily Devo with Robertsdale UMC. My name is Pastor Jonathan and I greet you this morning in the name and love of Jesus. About 4 o'clock this morning, I had a crisis. There was a crisis in my household. There was a crisis in my family because at 4 o'clock a.m., my wife and I were both awoken with the shrieking sound of what I thought to be a cat, and it sounded like it was inside. We are sleeping on a hallway where we're at one end and our two younger children at the other end. There's a baby nursery in the middle, and so our first thought was, where in the world is this animal that's in our house? Our dog was stirring under the bed, and it woke him up and startled him as well, and my wife was trying to get the dog to participate in his role as part of the animal protector of the home, at which he thoroughly disappointed us. Yes, Trooper, I'm talking about you. So I had a choice to make. I was in a stupor, and I was trying to think to myself, where is the Louisville Slugger I had from Little League, and why didn't I keep it? Don't have it. Where is the nearest lead pipe? Don't have one. The shovel is the next best thing, and it's all the way at the opposite corner of our property in the corner of our garage. How in the world am I going to get there? So I chose to do what I think any rational dad would do in this moment. I convinced myself that it was outside, and I checked the kids' rooms because I figured that was the minimum that I could get away with and at least appease my wife and go back to bed and sleep. So I closed the hall door and I came back to the room and I said, look, I checked the kids' rooms. There's no sound, no sight of an animal anywhere. Let's just go back to bed. And she said, did you check the whole other side of the house? And I said, well, no, but I closed the hall door. And she looked at me like, this is not sufficient. So in this moment, I had a choice to make. In a moment of crisis, I could choose compromise or I could choose courage. And the first choice I made was compromise. I shut the hall door and I just wanted to go back to sleep. But my wife looked at me and made me very aware that compromise was not going to be sufficient in this moment. So I chose courage and I walked through the rest of the house carefully. I turned on lights. There was no sign of an animal anywhere. So I rationalized as I continued to get my wits about me. There's been cats that have been entering our backyard during the day, coming right to the bushes that are right outside the window of where we sleep to try to get the mockingbirds and their babies that are in the bushes. Harsh reality of life, right? So even though in our sleepy stupor, it sounded like there was an animal in the house, and my wife was convinced that it had to be a possum or a raccoon, even though I told her they don't make those sounds, or a fictional character like a chupacabra, Sasquatch, or the Loch Ness Monster. We didn't know. We just knew that something was terribly wrong. I think it was just an animal outside the house, and it made me feel better when I heard dogs in the neighborhood barking about the same time all this happened. All this to say, in times of crisis, we have a choice. We can choose compromise. And one thing that God has been challenging me to do for about 31 days in this season is to take a walk through the book of Proverbs. Proverbs is not necessarily a book that I would gravitate towards, but I just felt God urging me to take this journey through Proverbs and to share it with you. And as we found out Saturday, not every chapter is fun. Not every chapter is light and fluffy and the kind of material maybe that we want to read. But beginning today, I'm going to challenge you to read the chapters each day on your own. I'm not going to read you the whole chapter because it's time consuming, and we're going to get to chapters where it just seems like random, unrelated words of wisdom. And so my job is going to be to try to hear from the Lord and share it with you. But what I'm modeling is I want you to try to hear from the Lord too. And it may be that what God's highlighting for you that day is totally different than what He's highlighting for me. But today, as I read through Proverbs 6, I'm going to let you know the themes that are throughout the whole chapter, but I specifically want to read verses 20 to 23, and then verses 27 and 28. Proverbs 6, 20 to 23. My son, keep your father's commands and do not forsake your mother's teaching. Bind them upon your heart forever. Fasten them around your neck. When you walk, they will guide you. When you sleep, they will watch over you. When you awake, they will speak to you. For these commands are a lamp. This teaching is a light. And the corrections of discipline are the way to life. And then skipping down to verse 27. Can a man scoop fire into his lap without his clothes being burned? Can a man walk on hot coals without his feet being scorched? So here's what I came to tell you today. In chapter 6, we see several sections about a kind of lifestyle that is not encouraged, that the Father's trying to dissuade his Son as he imparts wisdom. One is the lifestyle of overextending yourself, borrowing more from other people, and therefore becoming a slave to those that you owe. He also talks about laziness and just not doing good work. He talks about sowing discord, especially among your brothers. 6 things the Lord hates, 7 that are detestable: haughty eyes, a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that devises wicked schemes, feet that are quick to rush into evil, a false witness that pours out lies, and a man who stirs up dissension among brothers. All those things are related, right? Disunity, discord. And then he talks again, like he did in chapter 5, about adultery, a theme that comes up a lot. But here's why I share this with you today. This may not be the kind of material that you feel is connecting with you or that you want to hear, but I am blindsided with some realities in the world that we're facing, in the situation that we're facing right now with COVID-19. It's middle of May, and I'm hearing from police friends that domestic violence calls are tripling. I'm hearing that alcohol sales are up by 40%, and I know that the secret sin of pornography that nobody wants to talk about is skyrocketing right now. I know that there are people who are tempted in these situations of crisis to compromise and make decisions that are leading to destructive patterns rather than leading to courageously facing the crisis faithfully. So I share this not to bring you down, but as a word of encouragement, because if that's you and you're in this situation, I want to share with you my word for the year. This is a word that I've shared with you if you're a member of Robert Stowe UMC, but I've actually got it on a bracelet. It says, be courageous. My word of the year is courage. And what last night taught me was that in moments of crisis, we have an opportunity to choose compromise or courage. This Proverbs chapter is all about compromise. It's all about a life of compromise in different areas, whether it be financial, whether it be our work and the kind of work we do and the ethic with which we do that work, whether it be how we relate to people. And right now on social media, we see a lot of people making choices about whether to sow unity and encouragement or discord or anger or hatred or just plain venting. And I understand venting. I get to the point where I want to vent too. But my encouragement for you today, and the word that I feel like the Lord is giving me, and so I feel like it's for somebody, is stay strong, stay courageous. We can get through this together. Part of the reason I'm late today is because every Monday I have what's called a band meeting, a Wesleyan band meeting with 2 other brothers in the faith who hold me accountable, who pray with and for me. This that we're doing right now is community. It's part of how we're choosing to live in community so that we can be courageous together and not compromise. So that's my word of invitation today. That's my word of challenge as we continue to walk through Proverbs together. I hope the Lord is speaking to you during this time. And again, I just want to encourage you. Do things that build your life up. Do things that are good for your soul. Do things to help take care of yourself. Do things that help you not overextend yourself. And if you are not getting the community you need, find a way to reach out, whether it's picking up the phone or engaging things like this, or shoot me an email, private message the church so that we can be together in some way, so that we can talk, so that we can pray for one another, because you are not alone. God is with you, and so are we. This is Pastor Jonathan with Robert Stowe United Methodist Church. God bless you today. I wish you grace and peace.